Hey, guys. Make sure that I'm not staying in that bed. What's going on, guys? Michael Ray and Edwin here, coming to you deep in the heart of Texas on a beautiful evening here. We've been playing some wiffle ball this evening with the cousins, watching a little bit of the college playoff World Series. I've got the one and only with me, Mr. Edwin Britt here. What's up, E? How you doing, brother?
Michael, doing great, baby. Hey, Life by Design, man. I love it. You're in Texas. You're watching the World Series. You guys are working on that muscle memory in the background, and you're making memories, man. Fantastic. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's right, brother. We're making memories here. Wherever you're joining us in the world, guys, welcome. I appreciate y'all stopping in. We're going to talk a little bit about process tonight. And the reason we are is because Edwin and I have been going since 6 o'clock this morning. So it's been a long day of training and coaching and just really pouring into other people. So we talk about will, skill, and refill. This is my refill. I go to my dad's back porch here. My house is right over there. And the nephews and cousins came over. This is called Cousin Wednesday, Edwin. So what happens on Cousin Wednesday is all the cousins, my mom and dad, the Nana and Paul, grandparents, pick them up. They bring them over and they play over here, and all of us can go out and do something, have our date night or whatever. But tonight, we got the University of Texas playing in the playoffs to get to the Omaha, Nebraska World Series, which we're big Texas fans. You can see the golf cart in the background. So a wiffle ball game broke out. Of course, I had to go show them how to hit. And hitting is all about what? You got Layla back there now, little softball player. You got Braden that's hitting dingers. And you got little Mickey's running around here too. And we had a couple other neighbors that just left. But really, hitting is a process. And I want to end the day. Everyone sent this to me tonight. So I'm going to let him really pour into this here in just a second. But before I give it to him, we started off with a company that we've been coaching and training for over 3 years. And we started about it today. We talked about it today. We walked back in. We went back into the process. We went back in and started doing all the old muscle memory, blocking and tackling. And you think about hitting. Hitting is a process, and it's muscle memory. I had the privilege of coaching little kids from 5 years old, and now they're 28. So I had the privilege of coaching these kids, and it was funny because when they came to first day of t-ball practice, and we coached all the way through, we were competitive. We played travel ball, and we played a lot of teams, played all over the United States. It was a lot of fun. But I will never forget, Edwin, when that proud dad would bring that first son, and I've been working with him. Yeah, don't worry. He can hit. I've been working with him. And I'd see that freaking kid get up there and his arms would be like this and he'd be holding the wrong hands. And, oh, man, I'm like, geez. And what I would have to do is teach him a process of hitting. But before I could teach him the right process, we had to unteach him before we could build it back up. So think about this, guys. And some people, we talk about our trust process, and you guys have heard it, and we're going to lean into it a lot. That's what we teach. And sometimes it gets redundant. Sometimes it gets repetitive, but you got to lean in and practice and learn. And because Edwin is the best at the first tee, thinking, planning, and preparing, because that's what he does. Nobody practices more than Edwin. That's why he's so perfect at what he does. And he's had his 30,000. He's had his 10,000. I said 30,000. He's had his 10,000 plus 30,000 hours of doing it when nobody's watching. That's why he's rewarded so deeply now in public because of what he's done. So when I go to that kid, I have to teach him the right stance. Lining, it starts with your hand, starts with your feet, and then lining your hips up, bringing your hands in, holding your ball, the bat in the palm of your hand, the fingers of your hand at the palm of your hand, getting down, shoulder to shoulder, hands to the ball, hip release. So we have to teach those things for these kids, and then we have to teach the right. So you have to practice the right things, the right process for the right timing, because when that moment comes, if you're thinking about the process, guess what? It's going to be a struggle. But we have to think about it until we do get our 10,000 hours in, Edwin. And I'll tell you something right now. I know we've had a lot of examples of this that come back, but until you are willing to commit to building your business in the 5 areas, we've talked about it, right? 5 areas. We got your branding, sales, operations, cash flow, which is accounting, and leadership. It really boils down to a pretty simple process, but when you get into it, it's really deep. So you guys might be listening to us anywhere in the world in the dozen countries we're in, 60,000 users strong now with LFI Shuffle. So we appreciate you guys jumping in tonight. If you're watching this live or watching it later, we thank you guys for being here. Edwin Britt is in North Carolina, E, and we want to talk a little bit about the process, how we build the bridge. But really and truly, you are rewarded, E, and I've seen you do it so well, man, and I'm just so grateful for the fact that we have to train with you. But you're rewarded in public for what you've done in private for years, and that's not fun. Those are the reps. when you don't want to go, when it's cold. And I know right now you've been on a mission of from Memorial Day. So I want you to share that towards the end, but I also want to talk about what we started talking about at the beginning of the day, the process.
Michael, thank you so much, man. My goodness. I could just sit back and not say a word, and there'd be so much value delivered by what Michael, because you can just feel his passion and you can feel his authenticity, right? Everybody that's going to see this right now or later, there's no denying that. And Michael, thank you so much. There's so much. One thing I want to jump in and say from a humor standpoint, you've changed shirts from earlier this morning. I just want to acknowledge that, right? Yeah. Because Michael was in green or like aqua, at 6:45 this morning when we started. But if you'll notice, our energy is the same. I promise you, if you go back and watch what Michael and I are doing at 6:45 this morning, our energy is 100% matching exactly the same. You know why? Because what you send out, baby, is what you get back. Hey, I want to just talk to you guys about a couple of things regarding process tonight. Whether you're a golf fan or not, if you are aware, if you have some awareness of what's going on in the last 5-6 days, hopefully you've seen that something historic happened over the weekend. And Michael and I are both athletes. We've been athletes our entire life. And we never stopped being athletes, and we never stopped applying the lessons we learned. Right, Michael? Just jump back in for that, about that application of being an athlete and competing.
Yeah, that's when you talk about being an athlete and competing. And we said something this morning real early. I know you caught it, but I don't know if everybody did. We talked about Tom Brady being in New England, doing the same thing over and over again. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT because he gets out there and he wins ball games. Clutch time, 2 minutes left. He wants the ball in his hand. Few things. He's humble, number one, and he follows a process. He's confident, not cocky. He doesn't try to. He knows he can win the game if you give him the ball if he needs to. But he relies on everybody around him. He relies on the process. So I'll promise you this: as soon as he went to Tampa, because guess what he did in Tampa? Same thing he did in New England. Why is that? Because he learned a new game plan? Because it was a new offense? Because it's new trick he learned? No, it was the exact same thing he was doing back in college in Michigan when nobody knew who he was. The exact same thing, the not necessarily in high school, but in high school, he had this inside him. Now, he learned a process. And I told you this, and athletes do this, and baseball players do it, professional athletes do it. Tonight I was pointing it out to my nephew. He's a big baseball fan. He plays a lot of baseball. And these baseball players at the beginning of the game, we had the opportunity to watch a pregame a little bit, and they got out there and started stretching. Tom Brady, when he walks on the field, every single game day, so many hours before, he does the exact same thing. And it starts off with a hand stretch, pull the palm back. What that does is stretch here and here, and then it goes to here, and then it goes to here, and then it goes to here. He's been doing the same thing since he's been playing when he was freaking in college. It's a process, and that's why he stays in the game. That's why he's sharp, because does he think about the process anymore? It's what we just talked about, E. The process is muscle memory, and when you train that, you never lose that.
Michael, so great, man. Perfect. So well set up. And Michael and I don't rehearse this. We just yin and yang, right? We have no idea. We just segue and pick up. And here's the thing. You're going to say, well, gosh, it's easy for Michael. I mean, he's got it all. He's got the charm. He's got the handsome. He's this. He's that. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing that you're not seeing. That's a casual glance. What Michael has done is he is continuing to pour into the process. Let me read you something. Let me talk to you about the difference, because a casual glance would say, well, Michael's just got all this stuff going on, so it's easy for him to say that, man. Let's take a step back. I'm pulling this up, so give me a second.
That's okay. When you talk about that mindset, though, Edwin, which I think it's what you're going to talk about here and bring that up, this is the beginning. This is the iceberg. This is the in-depth look you guys need to take before you start learning the process. This is what this does.
Exactly right. So don't try to go be Michael, right? Here's the thing that's the separator. When you take the in-depth look about Michael, is Michael doesn't wait to get the most out of his potential every day. He's not waiting to get the most out of his potential every day. He's wringing the rag every day. Let me back that up with a quote, all right? And it validates everything we said tonight. Most people don't want to be part of the process. They just want to be part of the outcome. Most people don't want to put in the push-ups. They just want to be Michael, right? But the process is where you figure out who's worth being part of the outcome. In other words, man, we got to do our own push-ups. Every one of us have potential. Michael and I talked about this at 6:45 this morning. We have 86,400 seconds in every day. The great resetter is we'll get it tomorrow, maybe. You're closer. Hey, guys, I'm not trying to be morbid, but I want to give you truth, right? Great players want the truth, right? Average players want to be ignored. Good players want to be coached. Great players, and if you're on this call tonight, you're great. You want to be told the truth. Here's the truth, man. You got to go get it. You got to go make a decision to get the most out of your potential every day. And the only way to do that, the only way to do it is to plug into a process persistently consistent that yields predictable results. Phil Mickelson, Michael, I know you know, man, because you're a sports guy. He won the PGA championship, but he didn't just do that. Like, that's pretty cool. He won a major golf championship. But, and you and I are both part of this club, right? He did it in the 50-something club, right, man? Talk about that for a minute. I'm going to meet
Hashtag Pity Life, baby. Hashtag Pity Life. But here's what I want you to do. And when I get done, I want you to read that quote one more time, because so many people don't want to they don't want to get their hands dirty. I just want to get in the picture and look pretty, right? They don't know what we do and what you're supposed to do in the process. And Edwin said something there that's really the trick. If you guys will talk about process, learning, doing the reps, doing your own push-ups, doing those things. Now we're talking about physical a lot of times, but mental is more importantly. And right here, I think is the most important thing: getting up, showing up, dressing up every day, and just be willing to take it head on. That's what you got to do, and eventually you're going to figure it out. Because this is the bottom line: if you're building an MLM company right now, if you're building a brand new starter where you're wearing all the hats, you're in the right place. Because Mindset of a Champion was designed for that. Because when you talk about the sales, operations, or brand alignment, or the cash flow, or your leadership, we help you with that. That's what we do. Because a lot of times you get negative about your team. Oh, my team is not happening, or I'm not getting the customers come in like they need to come in. That's okay, because it's mindset, getting up and show up. If I work 80 hours and you work 40, guess what? I'm going to eventually win. I will pass you. And during that time, I'm going to learn what doesn't work, and I'm going to learn what works. I'm going to take the procedures and the process, and I'm going to document them. I'm going to ask myself why and what. I'm going to think, plan, and prepare it. I'm going to relate to people and my customers, my internal and my external. I'm going to uncover the need. I'm going to offer the solution. And guess what else? I'm going to take massive action. What I just laid out for you right there is the process. Here's the secret sauce. You can't try to be Edwin. You can't try to be me. You got to be you. Use your personality with the relentless pursuit of being relentless. If you pursue all those things with the trust process, which I just laid out there, think, plan, prepare is the first T. Relate. That's the R. The U. Uncover the need. Offer the solution. Take massive action. Now, all that really sounds, you're saying it so fast. I've only been doing this for 5 years with Edwin. That's a long time, but it's not very long. This time's going to pass. Oh, man, and this is what drives me nuts hearing a 40 or 50-year-old hashtag Pity Life, baby. We're making it count. But that's okay, right? 50's new 40, 40 new 30. That's okay. You ever heard that? That's what I'm talking about right there. But here's what the deal is. This is what pisses me off. Excuse my language. But when I hear somebody that's a certain age saying, man, I've always wanted to do that, or I want to do that. I want to write a book. I want to be a speaker. I want to build a business. I need a side hustle. I want to design my life. Michael, I just want to live a life by design. Make it look easy like Edwin and I do. I'm going to tell you something right now. Ain't nothing about it easy. The struggle is real. Don't kid yourself. But 100% this is going to happen. Edwin said it earlier. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. And right now, we get to turn the hourglass over every morning and start over with those same 86,400 seconds. There'll be one day you can't. And above all else, this time is going to pass. So I'd go get my degree. A 40-year-old, I heard this. I'd go back and get my degree, but it'd take 4 years. What? What in the heck? This 4 years is going to pass anyway. And guess what? If you go get your degree, 4 years from now, you'll have your degree. That blows my mind. If you don't, 4 years from now, you're not going to have your degree. I don't care what it is, guys. Here's the deal. Take the process. Take the time to learn it, Edwin. I'm going to pass this back to you. Take the time to learn the process. I want you to read that one more time, and then take action on it, but put your personality with it. Your personality is the secret sauce. By learning this process, following us, and letting us help you out, please.
Yeah, Michael, so well said, man. Thank you so much for all you bring to what we do. I'll read it again. Here we go. Most people don't want to be part of the process. They just want to be part of the outcome. They're like, hey, man, you guys do the work and show me the money, right? Well, it doesn't work that way, right? The elevator
Edwin,
to the stop.
check
Yes,
this out.
sir.
Hold on. I want you to listen to this. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm about to pass it right back to you. Because here's the problem with that. So many times people will sneak around the backside and then they get in the picture and they smile like they were part of it. The journey's more fulfilling than the end. When I look back at what I've chased, and financial was a big piece of it. I don't chase it anymore. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something right now. When you get there and you get it, you better plan for it. Because now what are you gonna do? The journey's more fulfilling than the end. The things that I did doing that, going there, when I look back, that was the fun. That was the meaningful stuff. That's just the moments in those times, attitude, moment, the process. Those are the things that I take with me right now and I still grin about. When you get there to the goal, you're like, what's next? You've got to always be thinking, planning, and preparing, which Edwin's so well at, E. But thank you for sharing it. I'll give it back to you now.
Hey,
That's the
man,
secret.
thank you so much. So we're going to bring full circle back to the name Phil Mickelson, because he really created history. Do you know that there have been 456 major golf tournaments dating back over 100 years? So they have 4 majors a year. So just go back, it's got to be a lot. Well before any of our lifetimes and our parents' lifetimes. And no one had won a major tournament over the age of 48 years old. Phil Mickelson was 50 years old, 11 months, and he won a major golf tournament at the Kiowa Island, one of the most difficult. I live on the ocean. Michael, you've been where I live, man. The wind is blowing, brother, right? The ocean breezes. It's the ocean course, and he masters it and wins it. Did he win it in 4 days? Because the tournament was 4 days. Here's the question for you today. Did he win it in 4 days, or did he win it in 15 months? Because 15 months ago, he made a commitment to get himself mentally and physically in the best condition of his life with a target of Kiowa Island, right? May of 2021. 15 months ago. Think about how much has changed in the world in 15 months, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Mickelson has always had the talent. He got himself in his best physical and mental shape at 50 years old. Michael, brother, that's a living example of what you and I have been traveling North America for the last 5 years talking about. And you know what? What we've been laying down and what we've shared with you, the audience tonight, and whenever they read it, it's not an idea. It's not a theory. It's not something we're testing. This is the God's honest truth, because we got testimonies all over the world of people who've applied what we've asked them to do. Yes, sir. I'll let you bring it home tonight, man.
I want to tell you something, Edwin. You're exactly right, man. And I'm just so grateful for you every time that we travel or do anything. I learn something every single night. I'm a constant student. And as a leader, I try to set my people up to be as successful as possible. I give them the flattest playing field. I give them the cool equipment. I try to get them the best tools in their hand to be successful. And I'm very humbled every time we talk about the process, or every time I have an opportunity to talk to someone, and every time we hear from someone saying, hey, man, you changed my life because of this story, or you did that. And I started leaning into the process. But when somebody comes in and says, man, it was painful and it sucked and it ain't easy. But what I've been able to do from this time, because this time's going to pass, what I've been able to do, I'm hitting dingers like this little kid behind me here, because he's followed his process since he's been 5 years old, and he's 5 years into it, just like I'm 5 years into Edwin. Now, what do we do here? Educate, validate. Understand this. Your entire life, when you get on this and listen, when you do anything else, when you go anywhere, when you have an encounter with your spouse or your kids or a neighbor or whatever it is, you will educate or you will validate every single conversation. That's all you will do. What? Educate. I learned something. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Validate. Oh, yeah, I do that, or I do that, or I used to do that. I need to put that back in play. That's what I found 5 years ago when Edwin was talking about the sales process, which is trust. Think, plan, prepare, relate, uncover the need, offer a solution, take massive action. We're talking about it in Tampa, Florida. We're traveling about to speak to every realtor in the whole dang Northwest Central Florida. And we had this big, huge group, and we went live, and he started talking about the trust process, and it hit me right in the head finally after a year and a half of being with him. I was like, dude, this is not a sales process. Our trust process is a life process. It's a leadership process. It's a sales process. It's an operational process. It's a culture development process. It's the same thing that you can do to save your marriage. It's a platform that you can all get together. We can sit down on it. We can lean into this process, and it's okay for everybody to know it. Don't think you're manipulating or taking advantage of them at all, because you're serving people in the best way, and you're serving in the most transparent way when you have a process. Am I saying that trust is the best process? Absolutely, I'm saying it's the best process because it's worked for me. There are other processes, and that's okay, and you go get one. But the most important thing I need you to do tonight, guys, is lean into it. Put your personality with it. Set yourself down. What do you really want to accomplish in this world? Find out some like-minded people you can get a hold of. Reach out to us. Let us help you clarify it, define the gap. Put what if on a whiteboard. What if, man? Just what if? I know it's not possible, but what if financially? What if spiritually I can get where I can be? What if mentally I can be where I can be? What if physically I needed to be where I wanted to be perfect? What if in my relationships I could really have it all? Because you can. You're wasting time when we're not doing that. What if I could take my family to the next level? What if my business? Wow. I could do that, because then it would open me up to be what, Edwin, you talk so well about, is being significant.
Michael, so well said, man. Let's bring us home tonight with this. Don't wait to leave your legacy, ladies and gentlemen, professionally and personally. Live your legacy. Think about this last closing statement. If I could. Go ahead and complete the sentence. Don't wait for that to be open-ended like, I wish I should. Go ahead and say, if I could. Do it right now. Do it right now. Michael and I know this, man. We're speaking to you from our heart because we love you guys. Michael, thank you, man. I love you. It's always a great honor to be with you, man. And your family, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, my mom said, come on and see me, brother. She'd love to see you again. Everybody's waiting.
I'll be in Texas soon, my friend. I'll be there soon. Thank you.
That's right, guys. Hey, take the chance, guy. If I could, everybody that's doing this, rewind this tape and say, if I could. And now spiritually, if I could, what would you finish the sentence with? Mentally, if I could, what would you the 7 areas: physically, mentally, spiritually, personally. All right, your relationships with your family, your career, and your money. If I could finish that, and that's the beginning. That's the path. That's the starting of the path to take the action. Thank you guys for being here tonight. I'm gonna let y'all go. And since we're here with the family, I'm gonna tell you what my granny always used to tell me: "We can't do anything else, Edwin. You can't figure it out. Just be nice." Because if you can't, because people won't always remember what you say, but they always remember how you made them feel, guys. See you later. Call me. What's up, Christopher? How you guys doing?
Appreciate you, buddy.
See you, brother. Take care. Talk to you soon.